Welcome, my peeps, my peoples. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. It'll be greatly appreciated from the bottom of my heart, my peeps, my peoples. So let's talk about Southern Charm, Season 5, Episode 7. Mary Jane is here. So let's talk about what's going on. Cameran, she's about to deliver. She's having contractions, but she don't know yet that, it ain't time yet. So she goes all the way to the hospital, and she's getting ready to think that she's going to deliver her baby. And guess what happens? She's not in labor yet. She's just having semi-contractions. So she is sent home packing from the hospital. And so we get to see Shep. Shep is bragging about his properties and the houses that he owns and how he's making an income and how he's renovating these new properties so he can have a steady income coming in so he can continue to drink and get drunk and have wild sex with different women. And so moving on from that, we have, Kathryn. She actually gets an internship at the clothing store where, where Ashley's at. So I guess it's the only clothing store in Charleston that would let them film in their store. And basically, they're getting free advertisements. So of course, they're going to have Kathryn filming inside the store. And of course, they're going to have, Ashley inside the store. So Kathryn, she's nervous. And basically, she is told to put together a profile for a lawyer with 2 kids. And she needs, daytime wear, casual wear, and a cocktail dress. And Kathryn fails at the job as usual. She failed at the interview. She failed at putting the clothes together. It's like, damn, Kathryn is like dumb as a doorknob. Like, what is going on with Kathryn? It's just like, damn. So you see why Thomas was able to take advantage of Kathryn, because she's talking about she worked at she worked at an ice cream shop, she worked at the gym, she worked for the former governor, and she had little semi jobs that really didn't bring in a high income. But you know what, she leveled up when she had babies by Thomas. She leveled up for sure. And it also seems like Kathryn is a mood stabilizer. She doesn't seem like she's normal, like her normal self or whatever. It just seems like there's something prohibiting her from being normal. I don't know what it is. It just seems like she's on something. Not something that's street, but prescribed from a doctor. So she passed the test, and they're going to offer her an internship at the clothing store where everybody in Charleston shops at. Charlestown, I'm thinking here where I live at because it's Charlestown here. So it is what it is with that situation. And so we get to talk about Naomi. I can't believe Naomi and Craig was only together for a year, and we got all this bullshit between Naomi and Craig, and she's acting crazy, cussing out, Peyton or whatever, and they only been together for a year. Like, whoa. So, Naomi's at her house. She's folding up things, cloth, blankets or whatever, and she's not really domestic, and she misses Craig for that because Craig was very domesticated. And so we learned that Naomi uses her flat iron to iron the kitchen towels. Isn't that disgusting and isn't that nasty? Like her hair on the kitchen towels where they they take food out the oven, they dry plates with. Like, what's going on? So that was disgusting. Then her roommate also said that you only take a shower every 3 weeks. Like, Naomi only takes a shower once a week. And then we find out that Naomi doesn't have a job yet. She's all on Craig about getting his life together and getting the income. And her parents are supporting her in that house that she's living in. Then on top of that, she doesn't have a job. So how can she down Craig and say Craig ain't no good and Craig is worthless? Craig parties all night. Craig don't do this. Craig don't do that. But she's not working and she's not paying her own bills. But she's going to try to. She's going to try to get her life together and get a job and get out in the working world because she is so excited that her parents opened a restaurant in Charleston. So we'll see how that goes with that situation. But Naomi, to get your spot blown up, talking about you only take a shower once every 3 weeks or once a week. I was like, oh shit, how did Craig put up with that? Craig is very OCD and he's very a clean freak. But it seems like he's not like that anymore because his house, he got holes in the wall. There's trash everywhere. So I guess Naomi and Craig were both on the same level when it came to keeping their apartment tidy. So it seems like Naomi is missing that good old Craig. And so we get to Patricia. Patricia takes Ashley shopping, and to the same store that Kathryn is going to be employed at. So she takes her to the store, and they try on dresses. The bill comes up to $10,000, and Ashley's saying, "Oh, I feel like Pretty Woman," and then Patricia's like, "Oh, please don't say that. Don't prefer yourself. You can prefer to yourself pretty, but not Pretty Woman, like a prostitute, like Julia Roberts in the movie Pretty Woman. Come on now. That's not Southern-like. Because, Patricia's trying to transform Ashley into a Southern girl, a Southern woman. Something they tried to do with Kathryn, but it didn't work. And also, Ashley also said that she feels like a Barbie doll. And so, Patricia's like, don't prefer to yourself as a Barbie doll. Like, come on. So, Ashley was saying different things, which, coincides with what Thomas was saying, that how blunt and brush she is with her words, and he doesn't like it. And so that's why, Patricia is trying to transform her into a Southern woman to get rid of that California type of thing. So anyways, Patricia does some real things. She sits down with Ashley and let her know, hey, listen, you need to get your shit together. You need to get a job. Like, you're gonna sit and be waiting on Thomas to take care of you or whatever, like you're a kept woman. That's not gonna work. A man will respect you more when you have your own career, you have things going for yourself, and it shows that you're independent, because that was a problem with Kathryn too as well. And so what are you going to do about your license? And she was like, well, it's so hard. Like, if you can pass your licenses test and, California, you can pass it anywhere. And so, but Ashley is in love with this being a kept woman living in this apartment. She's not even living with Thomas. Thomas has her pent up in another house. So she's not around the kids all the time, even though she's trying to portray that she's like their stepmother, but she's really not, because she lives in another location, that he's paying for. And so Patricia was like, you don't want to be like that. And you also want to have your own friends and do your own things and be outgoing. Don't be so accessible to Thomas. Like, make a man miss you, make a man want you. But when you're like on him like a peg, you know what I mean, stuck to him like glue, that is a turn off, because he doesn't have time to miss you. And Ashley's not getting it, because she was like, oh, well, I didn't come from California just to have nothing. So she lets Patricia know that she wants to get married. She wants to have kids with Thomas. Patricia's trying to tell her how to do it. Patricia was like, yo, listen, I could have been married 20 times. I've been married 3 times, and look at this diamond I got on my finger. So you should have put a ring on it. So she's trying to teach her some things or whatever, but I don't know if Ashley is actually gasping, or she's asking gas what Patricia's trying to say. Do your own thing, be your own woman, be your own person. Don't let your identity become Thomas, and don't be so kept, because a man really don't appreciate that, because you become a burden. She was like, you become a burden, you become like a financial burden. I was like, oh shit. Patricia's letting her know, and she's letting her know because Thomas has said this to her, or said it to Whitney, and Whitney told Patricia. Patricia is trying to relay the message to Ashley, but I don't think Ashley is getting it at all. So we moving on from that, and we also get Thomas, Shep, and Whitney, they go out to dinner, or they go out for drinks, and Thomas let everybody in on a secret that him and not a secret, him and Kathryn, they occasionally have sex annually. When they get in the mood for it, they have sex and all this other stuff. And and Thomas is just bragging about him and Kathryn being together. And so, Shep brings up like, yo, you was flirting with Kathryn the other night at, Naomi's, parents' restaurant. He was like, oh, I was. Oh, well, we do a little flirting here and there. We do blah, 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 and the third. We keep it interesting, keep it going. And so, same thing as Kathryn said in her confessionals, that she smiles when she flirts with Thomas. That keeps the peace. You might call him being manipulative or whatever, but it keeps the peace. So she smiles and she flirts back. So you can really tell that Kathryn and Thomas do want to be together, but Thomas has to change as a person. He has to want to be with a woman and only desire her, and treat her like a woman and not an object, and have respect. And Thomas don't have respect for women, also because they feed off of his wealth, they feed off of his power. No one's actually bringing something to the table that that can stand up to him. But only thing is, Kathryn do have something to bring to the table, that she has Thomas's kids. Thomas hasn't. Thomas is like 50 something years old, almost 60, and Kathryn was the only woman to give him children, because he didn't use protection all the time, and she was able to get pregnant. And then on top of that, a couple of seasons ago, Thomas talks about Kathryn's bloodline in Charleston, and how her family goes all the way back, and her bloodline is good with his bloodline, the prestige or whatever they have, that old bullshit that they got going on. So it is what it is with that situation. And so, so Shep is like, well, so is Kathryn single? Is she dating anybody? What's going on with that Kathryn situation? And he was like, nah, she's single. And Shep is looking like he wants some. And Whitney's like, so what? You getting horny? You want some? So it seems like Shep is gonna try to go after Kathryn. It seemed like last episode he was kind of like flirting with her. So we'll see if Shep is going to do that, because Thomas had a mean mug on his face when Shep said that. But I think Shep is just playing devil's advocate for some reason. And so we get to, Austin and Victoria. Austin and Victoria, they meet up, and basically Victoria was like, either you're with me or you ain't, because last time you left me, you were so confused about Chelsea, and now you want, and now if we're going to be together, you're going to have to pick me and choose me, and we're going to have to be together. So I was just like, okay. So Austin chooses Victoria, even though she is Chelsea's friend, because Austin is tired of, playing these games with Chelsea. And plus Chelsea wants him to stand up to, Shep and all the other guys. But I remember, I think last season, Austin stepped up to Shep because, Chelsea was saying that, Shep tried to force his way into an apartment, and he grabbed her and tried to kiss her. And then when he tried to step to Shep, Chelsea was like, oh, it wasn't nothing like that. He wasn't aggressive. It was just friendly. So I think he's watching what he does. And, she should also tell him how she feels about the situation. Like, hey, listen, I feel like these guys take advantage of you and they shit on you. So I want you to stand up to them because you're a strong man or whatever. But she doesn't say that. She just totally disses him and is just like, whatever. And so now he runs back to Victoria. If I was Victoria, I wouldn't want to be second best, because if Chelsea would have chose Austin, Austin would have been with Chelsea, because Austin tried to get Chelsea to leave with him that night at, Naomi's parents' opening of their restaurant. And she declined. And so boom, he calls up, Victoria, Old Faithful. He calls up Old Faithful, and Old Faithful is ready for Austin. So they're in a relationship and they're together now. So I was like, okay, they're together. I guess second best is better than being no best. And we move on to, Patricia. Patricia, she's at her house. She's having a dinner party, and she's inviting all the guys, and all the guys show up. I must say, Whitney was the best dressed, and the second best dressed was Craig, and Craig was the most handsome, and he looked like the normal Craig. Still a little tired, a little bit of a hangover, but, Craig is kind of like losing his looks, but, Whitney was dressed really well, and so was, Shep, so was Craig. They did crack on Craig because he was late, and, they were saying, oh, well, he's sewing some pillows together, making fun of Craig. JD shows up. He's bright. He's colorful. Thomas shows up, and him and Whitney brag about the clothes they have on and what they have on, and, Whitney fixes Thomas's tie like brothers, I guess. So it is what it is with that situation. And, so it was a beautiful dinner. They have the Buddha statue. It was, it was a really nice dinner. And, they talk, and Thomas talks about, Ashley, like, she's demanding, she's controlling, and I can't be controlled because I got the power and I got the money. See, Thomas' head is all stuck up his ass, and he feels like, Ashley is like clinging to him like a moth to a flame. And also she's trying to mother him and tell him what to eat and what not to eat, and all that other stuff. And he's just like, it's too much. And so Patricia was like, well, she just cares about you. She's worried about your health because she is a nurse. And Patricia was like, you better hurry up and make a decision because you're about to be on Medicaid and you're going to be alone. So, Thomas is just basically dissing Ashley, talking bad about her, just like he used to do Kathryn, get around his friends, talk bad about, whoever he's in a relationship with, so they won't really like the girl. So when he's cheating and being around with other women, they be like, oh, he deserves it. And so Austin tells the guys that he is back with Victoria. Shep is happy to hear that. He's smiling like he's going to be going after Chelsea. I don't think Chelsea is going to give, Shep another chance or whatever. But, it is what it is. And then Patricia brings up this article about cheap sex, ends marriage. So basically, like, these women, playing house before they actually have a commitment for a man has actually derailed, the train from people actually getting married. And, like Thomas did say, why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? And, basically everybody's in the room as single. And it was like, well, Patricia's like, when you're around 32, and if you don't have a husband or whatever, they send you to Spencer's farm. And so they're cracking and laughing on that situation. And then they talk about, Patricia taking, Ashley shopping, and the bill was about $10,000. But she said she didn't ask the price or whatever. So I guess Thomas got credit over there. He should, because now his baby mother's going to be working over there. And, Patricia also mentions that Patricia also mentioned that Ashley said that she wants to get married, she wants to have kids and all this other stuff. So there's a situation with that. Thomas is not really feeling that. He's not really hearing that because, he still kind of have Kathryn on his mind. He even, called Ashley Kathryn and was talking about Kathryn. Everybody's noticing that he still has some feelings for Kathryn. And we all know he has some feelings for Kathryn. So, and he's not really trying to hear about, getting married to Ashley at this time and point, because he's having the best of both worlds. They got Ashley stringing along, living in his apartment like she's a dungeon rat, and then on top of that, he has, Kathryn still sleeping with him on the low every now and then they flirting with each other. So he's kind of like having the best of both worlds. So then we get to the part where, what's her name, Kathryn, she meets up with Thomas. They have dinner, and she wants to throw a birthday party for Saint, but she wants to have it in her location. She wants Thomas to help, and she does not want Ashley to come. I can understand why she doesn't want Ashley to come. And she's also upset that Thomas took a family photo and Ashley was in the picture, and it's like she's being excluded. But if Thomas was actually serious about Ashley wanting a relationship excuse me, with another woman or whatever, Kathryn's going to have to deal with it. And Kathryn was like, what about if I did that? Thomas will, break her phone, cut off her phone service, probably kick her out the apartment that she's living in, take her back to court. So I think it would be nice if Kathryn starts to date somebody else and let, Thomas know that he ain't the only chef in town. So it is sad, but when two people have children together and they break up, people are going to move on. But in this case, Thomas is going back and forth. He's playing the game. He's playing with, Kathryn, like they're going to get back together, like they're going to have something going on. He's flirting with her, and he's actually flirting with her in front of Ashley. I don't know why Ashley would sign up to be in this situation, because if Ashley actually watched any of the seasons of this show, she would realize that Thomas always goes back to Kathryn. He's manipulative, he's mean, he can be very harsh and brutal, and he doesn't respect women. So why would you put yourself in a situation with a man like that? So anyway, so now Ashley's not going to the birthday party, and Thomas agrees, and he totally understands, and he's going to be more respectful to Kathryn's feelings about taking pictures and posting pictures and things like that on social media with their children. And he also tells, Kathryn that, our child told us that, why are you not with mommy? Because his daughter pointed to the picture, was like, Daddy, how come you're not with mommy? And so Kathryn was like, well, I really wish something. And then so Thomas jumped in and was like, we can be together. She was like, no, that's not what I'm talking about, that we can be friends. So Thomas wants to get back with Kathryn. Kathryn better watch her back. I want to get back with Thomas. Anyways, peace. I'm out. One love to all my peeps and my peoples. Ashley's playing herself lovely on this show. And Austin, this episode, he didn't seem like he was high on paint thinner. Peace. I'm out. One love.